Hello, fellow Christmas lovers and enthusiasts. You are listening to Closer to Christmas. Today is October 12th. That means there are 74 days left until Christmas. 74? Now we're under 75. This is insane.
Oh my god. I'm like, I can't even believe it's October. Like, where does
I know.
September go?
I was just thinking this morning when I woke up, we're recording this on October 1st, but
Yeah.
September is already over, the first of the Burr months. It
Right?
flew. Like, I could remember, today, if you picked this up from Hallmark last year, it's a Charlie Brown Christmas calendar countdown.
I remember when
It's-
you got that, yeah.
It starts on October 1st, so I set this today. I turned it on. So right now, as I'm recording this, we have 84 days, 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 21 seconds till Christmas.
That's sick. I love
Yeah.
that.
It's pretty cool. I like it. But today we're going to talk about the best gift we've ever given.
Yes.
So I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay, good. To be honest, my best gift I've ever given is more recently. And it's because I found, and you'll probably, like to hear this, but I found an artist who lives close by, and she does like pet portraits. And my dad had just recently, that family dog that I had told you about earlier, well, he passed. And this is when I had gotten this done. He had just passed, and I guess after we grew up, we weren't really like picture taking family. My dad, my mom split, so we didn't really have a lot of teenage years into adult years pictures. So we didn't have a lot of Riley, which is his name. And I just my dad's home didn't have him in it, and it didn't feel right. So one year for Christmas, I got this really he looks so dapper in this picture that my brother randomly snapped of him. And I got the artist to kind of just focus on his facial features and bring them out. And I told her to just go to town with it. And she did such a phenomenal job. It looks so real. It looks like, he's right there with you. So when I gifted that to my dad, it was the silence was met, and you just knew what the silence meant. And when I did it, I just thought, I want my dad to have this picture of Riley in his house because he doesn't have pictures of Riley. But when I had gifted it to him, I noticed it was so much more for him than just that. And that was what kind of left that lasting mark in me. And that's why it was my favorite gift that I had ever given.
Yeah, that's awesome. You'll have to send me if you have a picture of what that looks like. So
I will.
Do you know what they use, what medium they used, or how?
It was on a canvas, and I believe it was water. I think it was a watercolor paint, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
She's done 3 others for me, so I'll send you that one, and then I'll show you the other one she's done.
All right,
really cool.
That's awesome. Thank you. So my best gift that I've ever given is one that I gave to my grandmother. So I started working at Walmart in 1996. So I worked in the toy department, which was right next to Lawn and Garden, which converted to the Christmas department, during Christmas time. So my grandmother is a huge Frank Sinatra fan. And I remember in 1996, when I worked at Walmart, walking out to the Christmas stuff just to peruse the aisles. And I go down this one aisle that is jam-packed, both sides, filled to the top. It was one item in the whole entire aisle, which is very weird, but it's maybe the company was no, you need to sell these or whatever. And I don't know if they sold, I'm not sure, but this was called Frank E-Post. It was an animatronic lamppost that looked like Frank Sinatra's face on it, and it sings a Christmas song in the Frank Sinatra voice. This had to be 1998. Sorry, I started in 96, but it was a little later. But it was 1998. The company that made it, it's called Telco. They made quite a few animated Christmas items that I'd like to get. There's this weird random Yule log one, or a creepy little tree that sings. Yeah, they made some really weird stuff. There's a mailbox. I don't know. If you look them up, there's some weird ones. But this Frankie Post one kind of became the Christmas Eve mascot because my grandmother is 100% Irish. My grandfather was 100% Italian. But we had Christmas Eve at their house. So we had the Italian Christmas, the Feast of the Seven Fishes, all that type of stuff.
Yep.
But that's where everyone gathered on Christmas Eve, was their house. So Frankie Post, after I gave it to her for Christmas, was kind of the mascot of Christmas Eve. He would always just be sitting in the living room. Everyone would walk by, touch him, he'd sing.
Oh.
But then years later, when they got a dog, that dog was deathly afraid of this thing. I have no idea why. So if you didn't want him in one of the rooms, you just set Frankie Post in front of the doorway, and he would not go anywhere near it. He didn't he didn't dare go near Frankie Post.
Had bad
And
juju in
yeah, yep.
it.
So after my grandmother had passed away, I acquired Frankie Post. So now I put him out at my house every year. So I kind of, it's a kind of a full circle on a gift that I gave, and it came back
Wow.
to me, and it still works perfectly. It still looks mint condition because it's one of those things that only comes out, for 2 months or whatever out of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
good old Frankie Post.
gonna need a picture of that too, just so
All
you
right.
know.
Yep, I'll be sending that over as well.
That is so cool. I love that. And I love that story too because it's just like you said, sometimes when you gift somebody something, you don't really realize that later on down the line you can end up with it. And it's like it has just so much more meaning to it when it full circles to you. So
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you joining me for this whole week.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me, and I'm so glad we finally got to do it.
Yeah, and we'll definitely now that we got this down, we'll
Yeah.
we'll do something again in the future. But tomorrow, actually, my calendar says it now. It says it's Canadian Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So
That's
that
that is my favorite October holiday. I know that you guys only have one really good holiday in October, but it is my favorite one.
yeah, so that's what you'll be doing tomorrow. So
Yes,
now
exactly.
it's in my calendar, official. It's written right there.
Well, thank you for acknowledging my my Canadian, heritage.
Anytime. And again, we'll have to do this again down the road, but I really appreciate you coming. Do you want to tell anyone where they could find you at, where you could be listened to?
Yeah. I mean, you can find me on Instagram at the Christmas Chapters podcast. And you can also find me on any of your podcast apps or, streaming places that you listen to them. I'm generally on everything. And yeah, I come out every bit to put a little touch of magic in the air. So it's kind of my specialty.
All right. Thank you very much. And
Well,
remember, the next
thanks.
time you hear my voice and this podcast, we'll all be a little bit closer to Christmas. Thanks for listening and thanks for joining me.